It's 9:05 at 97.5 Glory FM, and welcome once again to the Saturday Morning Sports Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Wofford, live from the NGPG Sports Center here at 97.5 Glory FM, starting this first day of November, wrapping up the high school football season and wrapping up the high school softball season as we get ready for the upcoming high school basketball season, college basketball, college football down to the last month of the regular season. And, of course, the high school football state playoffs begin in a couple of weeks here on 97.5 Glory FM. And this morning on the show, we're going to have live in our studios at 9:30 Coach Sean Pender, the head coach of the undefeated North Hall Trojans, as they'll be in action right here on 97.5 Glory FM in 2 weeks in the opening round of the state playoffs. What's joining me this morning by phone will be Coach Lee Coleman, the head coach of the Lakeview Academy football team, John Thompson, the assistant coach for the Flyer Branch football team, and Coach Tony Lottie of Seconder High, as they made history last night down in Mulberry, as they made the state playoffs for the first time in school history. Coach Lottie will join me also this morning by phones. We got a lot to talk about this morning here on this Saturday Morning Sports Show. We got a live video stream on our YouTube channel at Teen Glory Sports. Make sure you go to that channel and tell your friends they can see what happens right here in the studios every Saturday morning at 9:05 on 97.5 Glory FM. First, let's go to the scoreboard from last night. High school football, as you heard right here on 97.5 Glory FM, North Hall completes the undefeated regular season by defeating Dawson County 42-7. The final in that one, the Trojans making history with their 18th straight regular season victory. That's a record. Also, reaching that milestone, their 300th career victory in the long history of North Hall football. That was a big win last night for them, and now they'll be the number one seed going into the state playoffs out of Region 6 AAA as they win the championship. Also last night, a wild finish up at East Hall. Coach Matt Turner had told me weeks ago, he said, Mike, it's going to come down to the last half, the last game of the regular season. It came down to the last play of the regular season, as it was Cherokee Bluff outlasting East Hall 52-49, the final of that one. 2 times this season, East Hall lost in the last game of the ball game there at their home at Valhalla at Smith Holtze Field. Last night, they were leading Cherokee Bluff 49-42, 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Bears come down, score with about 45 seconds left in the ball game, making it a tie game at 49-49. Then the defense for Cherokee Bluff held East Hall to a 3-and-out, and the Vikings were punting the football back to the Bears, but unfortunately the snap went over the punter's head, setting up a game-winning field goal with 2 seconds left in the game for Cherokee Bluff, a 33-yard field goal, and the Bears win, making it into the state playoffs as the number 4 team out of Region 8 AAA, knocking the Vikings out of the playoffs and ending the season for all the seniors there. They finished 3-7 overall, but they are the best 3-7 team you're ever going to see. They lost to North Hall in that wild finish earlier this year on the last play of the game, and then last night losing that one on the last play of the game there to Cherokee Bluff. And the Bears will be the number 4 team out of Region 8 AAA. Other teams making the playoffs here locally, Gainesville High had the night off, and they were scoreboard watching last night. Roswell ends up beating Milton by 2, and that means Roswell's the number 1 team out of Region 7 Quinte. Gainesville will be the number 2 team. They'll play at home at City Park Stadium, Bobby Green Field, in a couple of weeks. Milton is the number 3 team. Seconder, the number 4 team out of Region 7 Quinte. In Region 8 Quad A play, back on Thursday, Flyer Branch won their game over at Cedar Shoals 42-8, and they become the number 2 team because they got a lot of help from East Forsyth, with Coach Cannon's team from East Forsyth defeating Madison County, and that means the Broncos go in as the number 3 team out of Region 8 Quad A. Also last night, history made down in Houston, as it was Jackson County defeating Habersham Central 53-6, and for the first time in school history, the Panthers win their first region championship. They started playing football at Jackson County back in 1980, win their first championship last night by defeating the Raiders. But Habersham Central will be going into the state playoffs at home in Mount Airy coming up in a couple weeks as the number 2 team out of Region 8 Quinte. Region 8 6A play. Well, it was a dominating performance for Coach Brian Ampling's Beaufort Wolves as they surprised Mill Creek with a 35-3 victory to capture the region championship once again. Mill Creek will be the number 2 team out of that region. And also around the area of the games being played last night, season came to a close for Chestatee. They fall to Greater Atlanta Christian. Yeah, big ball game for Stuart Cunningham's team. They scored more points than a lot of people thought they would. 42-29, the final of that one, really a beat-up War Eagle team from last night. It was White County defeating Johnson High. The Knights end the season winless, and the Warriors go 3-7 on the season, but they will not be going to the state playoffs with that loss to North Hall last night. Dawson County also knocked out the state playoffs due to the power rankings with other teams across the state in Class AAA play. And going back to Thursday night, so you had other games being played. I mentioned East Forsyth, Fire Branch, also last night, and other games around Northeast Georgia. It was Stevens County winning their game over East Jackson. Commerce ends the season with 2 straight victories as they go 2-8 on the season, as they were victorious last night over Providence Christian Academy. Also for the Region 8AA crown, it was Hebron Christian defeating Prince Avenue Christian. Franklin County, they're heading to the state playoffs as they were victorious over Hart County, 31-0, the final score in that one in that 8AA ball game from last night. See also Oglethorpe County defeated Banks County. Rabun County, they were victorious last night in their final game of the regular season. Over Forsyth County in Region 6-7A, it was West Forsyth winning that championship with a victory over Alpharetta. They're heading to the state playoffs as the number 1 team out of that region. Denmark, they won their game last night. North Forsyth was a winner over Forsyth Central from last night. So a lot of games going in high school football as we get ready now for the next season with the state playoffs beginning in 2 weeks. All GHSA teams will have the night off next week, and they get ready for the state playoffs in 2 weeks. 2 of the teams to talk about from last night. Lanier Christian wrapped up the regular season. They'll be the number 1 seed in the upcoming GAPPS state playoffs. They're the defending state champions for the Lightning, and they'll be in action in next week, in fact, in the first round of the GAPPS championship tournament. And last night, the season came to a close for Lakeview Academy. Hishamay will talk with Lee Coleman coming up next here on 97.5 Glory FM as they fall to Piedmont Academy 27-21. You'll hear from him and more coming up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM with a live video stream on YouTube at Team Glory Sports.
Air of fall in North Georgia after a hot, humid summer. Conditioned Air Systems is here to get your HVAC system ready for the changing seasons. With regular maintenance that saves you money on your energy bill, and look no further for quick, reliable plumbing repairs or installation services. Conditioned Air Systems has been a trusted name in Northeast Georgia for over 45 years. Call us today at 1-800-AC-REPAIR.
Injuries are never planned and often happen after hours or over the weekend. That's why NGPG Orthopedic and Sports Medicine offers the Black and Blue Walk-In Clinic for injured athletes every Monday morning in their offices in Gainesville, Brazelton, Beaufort, Houston, and Jefferson. No need to call. Just walk right in between 8:30 and 11:30 on Monday mornings. And one of their sports medicine and orthopedic doctors will be there to help identify, treat, and care for your injury. To learn more, you may visit ngpg.org/black-and-blue.
And we're back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show here on 97.5 Glory FM. Mike Wofford with you from the NGPG Sports Center every Saturday morning starting at 9:05. Let's go to the phones down and talk with Coach Lee Coleman, the head coach of the Lakeview Academy Lions. I want to talk to him. I know it was a tough loss last night to Piedmont Academy, but what a season for Lakeview. Hey there, Coach.
How you doing, sir?
I'm blessed. How about you?
I'm doing well, Can't complain.
Oh, I know it was tough last night, but boy, the being able to play at home was something big, Lee.
It was. I mean, tough moment for our team, but to be able to be at home to play in that atmosphere, it was still incredible, a testament to my guys.
You know, I mentioned earlier when we broadcast your game with Bethlehem Christian, it's a different brand of football, but it's still football and a really good brand of football there at Lakeview.
It is, man. It's where the numbers. At the end of the year, you started to see the difference with our guys getting beat up. Had a couple guys beat up last night going into the game, so we was missing a few kids. And then during the game, you see some guys, some key players get beat up, so you're playing possessions without them. But to see those guys fight towards the end was just an incredible sight to see.
So tell me about you lost the game to Piedmont 27-21. The thing about it, second time you played them this season.
It was. The first time we beat them 34-7. We knew it would be tougher to win the second time. Like, that's always hard to beat a team twice.
Sure.
But I always tell my team, man, mistakes, if you got to win the turnover battle, and we lost that. Sadly, we gave up 2 pick sixes. That's 14 points. We lose by 6.
Wow.
And so that was just the name of the game. We just turned the ball over at inopportune times. But defense in the second half, oh, my gosh, they were lights out. Offense put a couple drives together late to make it a fight, and we had another opportunity to go down, and we ended it with a pick. It was devastating because we were driving.
Wow. Well, that would have been really something to see from that standpoint. It's great to see Lakeview playing at home for the first time in school history, looking for that first win ever in the state playoffs. But you know it's coming because you know how this program's continuing to grow, Lee.
Yes, last night, it's the devastating of losing, especially for your seniors. And so it's a hard moment. But when you look at the positives and when you try to find the positive in such a way when it's like so devastating, the loss, but when you really evaluate and look at what those young guys were able to do on that field, the heart, the grit, the competitiveness of all those guys, it just made you think, okay, we have a bright spot because the future is going to be really, really good. These guys just stick with it. And
life lessons learned there for the young Lions. Now, I know you got a small number of players on the team, but I hope there'll be some other guys coming up start for next year for your team.
Yeah, so looking at my team, we realized we're counting. We have 20 guys returning.
Oh, sir.
That's the most since I've been there. And so you see the growth already just with numbers within the building.
Mm-hmm.
And now you just hope more guys come out and more guys show up. And I think we're on the brink of doing something special because we're still super young.
Mm-hmm.
Next year will be a sophomore, junior heavy team with just years of growth, just a lot of growth that can happen this offseason that'll help us.
Well, I think nothing else, success breeds successfully. And when you see a team make it to the playoffs, that's something a lot of people don't expect. And you see a program like Lakeview Academy in the GIAA, it's okay. That's supposed to be some fun to do on Friday night.
Oh, for sure. You're right. We always say, like you said, the success breeds success. We say iron sharpens iron. And with that, we told those guys, you see this feeling, that feeling when you see the tears coming out, the hurt and the pain in those guys for how hard they worked last night. And you say, remember that, because the offseason, you have to bring that same fire in the offseason to understand we don't want this happening again. We just want to get better. And we're going to eliminate all these things, and we're going to get better to improve next year to be a consistent, like you said, a consistent playoff caliber, but not even just get to the playoffs, but a team that's going to make the runs in the GIAA. Because like you said, it's a different brand of football when you look at us and our numbers, but when you get to like next week, like, congratulations to them. They go to John Miller's Academy.
Mm-hmm.
John Miller's Academy is a fantastic football team.
Mm-hmm. I wish it was a blessed Piedmont because that's going to be a battle to say the least playing John Millage.
God bless Piedmont.
because John Millage, people know that they could play the GHSA with no problem.
John Millage would go to the GHSA and compete at a high level. The reason I know I was at Georgia Military was my first stint.
Yep.
And my 4 years head coaching there, John Millage was undefeated 4 years in a row, won the championship 4 years in a row. My first year at Lakeview, they lost the championship game. That was their first loss in 5 years.
Wow.
Last year, they had a bad year. Now they're back. They only lost one game. And just the kicker, their only losses to Athens Academy, and that was 28-14.
Wow. This tells you about it's a different brand of football, but some great football there. In the GIAA and also at Lakeview Academy. Lee, thanks, man. I appreciate it very much. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thanks, sir.
Be blessed, sir. That is Coach Lee Coleman, the head coach of the Lakeview Academy Lions. Their season came to a close last night as they fall in the first round of the GIAA state playoffs to Piedmont Academy 27-21. But I appreciate Lee joining me each week right here on 97.5 Glory FM. Coming up next, we'll talk with Coach John Thompson, the assistant coach at Flyer Branch. Falcons are heading to the state playoffs. We'll talk to him next here on 97.5 Glory FM with the Saturday Morning Sports Show.
At Jackson EMC, innovation is an ongoing cycle. A process without a beginning or an end, where one idea leads to the next. Solar power, electric vehicle programs, energy-efficient right choice homes, automated switch technology. What we do as an industry is vital. We keep communities powered. So we must always have an eye on the future. Jackson EMC, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow.
This is Matt Nix, president of Duplicating Products. Our local business has served Northeast Georgia with trusted office equipment and local service support for over 50 years. We're proud to support high school football and proud to help businesses stay up and running with fast personal service. As the region's largest independent Canon, Ricoh, and HP dealer, we offer the industry's best equipment backed by real local people. When your copier or printer goes down, we're there fast. Visit duplicatingproducts.com. We're local and ready to serve you.
97.5 Glory FM. We continue with the Saturday Morning Sports Show. Going back to the phones there, we're going to talk with Coach John Thompson, the assistant coach at Flyer Brands. They play back on Thursday, wrapping up the regular season. And now we get ready for the second season with the playoffs starting on November 14th. And joining us is John. Hey, John.
Hey, good morning, Mike. How are y'all?
Great, sir. Bet you.
We're doing good. Just actually, first time I've really had a chance to watch College Game Day this year.
How about that? Hey, you get ready for the big game today at 3:30. So, first off, things worked out well for Flyer Branch, didn't they?
It did. We were very fortunate. We got a great bunch of kids. The senior class has done a wonderful job. But it's like a couple of kids said this week, it was senior week, and they were like, we've had a different coaching staff every year of our high school career, and, that hits home as a coach, and we told them, well, we can assure you, we're going to be back next year. We're not going anywhere. We got a staff that gets along really well. We enjoy our kids. And we got a great administration, and our seniors just did a fantastic job all through the regular season.
Well, back on Thursday night, the Falcons won over Cedar Shills 42-8, but then got some help from East Forsyth defeating Madison County. So now you're going to be at home the first round of state playoffs, right?
We are. We're happy for East Forsyth and everything. We appreciate them winning that ball game and everything. And, they had 2 weeks to get ready for Madison County, which I think really helped them a little bit because they were banged up a little bit and they got healthy. Talking to a couple of their coaches over there, they got healthy during the open week and everything. But we're fortunate to be at home, and we're looking forward. It's the first time since I think 2020 that Flyer Branch has been home for the playoffs. So we're really excited for the kids.
So do you know who you're going to play in the first round?
We do. We're going to be evidently it looks like we're going to play Ware County. Ware County ended up number 3. What knocked them out of the number 2 spot was when Warner Robins beat them a couple of weeks ago. And but they're a good football team.
Oh, no doubt.
They played Benedictine, the first week of the region play, and Benedictine had to come from behind to beat Ware County.
Well, we know how South Georgia football is. That's a tough brand of football down there. Let everybody know, too, I love, if you need to know how to get somewhere, ask John, because you're like a traveling secretary. I mentioned last time when you and I talked the final score. You already had things lined up for next week in case this happened, plan B and plan C. We did. I had a plan. I had a plan if we had to go to Benedictine, and I had a plan if we had to go to Ware County or Warner Robins. I already had everything planned out. Places to do walkthroughs, places to eat, and everything. So we had contingency plans for 4 different scenarios, and the easiest plan was to be at home. And so I told Michael and Coach Griff, our AD, on Friday, I was like, all right, I've deleted all those other ones on my computer, so we're good to go. It's always good to play at home too, It is, and it's a great opportunity for our community. Sure. And for our student section, we all know in today's time it's hard to get high school kids to travel 5.5 hours. Oh, sure. On a Friday, especially trying to go down that far and everything. But with Ware County coming up here, that's about a 290-mile track and everything, and
them being South Georgia, they're going to bring a crowd.
Yep.
South Georgia, anybody that's been in South Georgia knows the South Georgia teams travel really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking forward to the opportunity and everything, but we also know we've got our hands full because they are a very, very good football team.
Well, that's the big thing. The final thing for you, buddy, is that having that week off, it helps some teams. I think it's going to help Flowery Branch.
Yeah, it could. I mean, we're all, when you get to this point of the season, everybody's banged up in some form or fashion. And, a lot of coaches around the state likes the open week. A lot of them don't. If you've got on a roll right here at the end, you want to keep it rolling.
Sure.
If you're banged up, you welcome the off week. And it's not really an off week, but you can back off on some things and get your legs back underneath you and go ahead and start game planning. And, get an extra week of mental preparedness for them and everything. But also, you got some teams that had an open week this past week, and
True.
they'll go 21 days before they even play another game.
Like Gainesville, no doubt about it, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, you got some teams out there like that, too. And, if you're the coach of that, you're probably scratching your head, what are we going to do with them?
I understand totally, friend. Well, tell Coach Michael Perry, congratulations. Sent a message last night. You and I talking in a couple of weeks, okay, buddy? Congratulations.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for everything y'all do. Good luck to y'all.
I appreciate it, but have a good day. We'll talk to you next time. This is Coach John Thompson, longtime friend here at 97.5 Glory FM, talking about Flowery Branch. Up next, we'll talk with Coach Tony Lottie, head coach of the Seconder Jaguars, making history last night. You'll hear from Coach Lottie coming up next on 97.5 Glory FM.
It's kickoff time, Gainesville, and Hardy Chevrolet has the winning lineup you've been waiting for. From rugged Silverados to family-ready SUVs, our inventory is stacked for every game. And customer service, it's always first string. Visit Hardy Chevrolet at 2115 Brownsbridge Road, Gainesville, Georgia. Hardy Chevrolet, where you're always part of the hometown team. Together, let's drive.
Siphon Logistics' commitment is to provide you, the customer, with on-time pickup and delivery every time. Members of the Siphon family have been in the transportation business since 1984. The Siphon Logistics transportation professionals are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing maximum flexibility and options to produce the most successful shipping arrangements. Call Siphon Logistics at 770-287-8485 and take a look at their website at siphonlogistics.com.
And we're back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show. Sean Pender standing by to join me here live at our studios. But first, we'll go to the phones and talk to our friend Tony Lottie, the head coach of the Seconder Jaguars down in Mulberry. History being made last night as they beat Lanier to be the number 4 team out of Region 7 Quinte. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man.
Did you say Coach Pender's in the room?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congrats, Coach. I know that was huge for you guys.
Oh,
so happy for you.
Tony Lottie says congratulations to Sean Pender. But tell you what, how about this? It's been a short time for Seconder football, but now you made some big strides in a short time, friend.
Yeah, the kids bought in when I got there, and basically, the opening year didn't go very well, and this is the third year that I was able to be there. So to get in the playoffs, especially in the region we're in, was a pretty good testament, I think, and I believe, of the character of my kids. They've just been working, they've been believing in the culture that we're establishing, and they've become that foundation. And last night they were rewarded for it. We came out and played extremely hard. Our defense played very well last night, so they kind of came into their own last night. And offensively, we were able to do what we do, and that's keep the football for a long time, go down and score. And so I was just so excited, the fact that for me it was the third school that I was able to see kids smile in a way they'd never smiled before. So for me, that was pretty special.
Well, you think about it, it had to be a big time for your seniors who've been there since day one of Seconder.
Yeah, the first 4-year class, and so they went basically over the first year, and playing some really tough competition, and I think outscored 280-12 as that kind of start for them. And then, then we were able to win a couple games my first year. Went 3-7 and then 6-4 last year, and we missed the playoffs by literally 1 point. Lanier scored on us with 50 seconds to go to beat us. And so, for us to go on the road last night And, you know, we had a good week of prep, you know, and that's one of the things we talk about all the time is, you know, we don't focus on the wins, we focus on the process, and we make sure that we're tending to the roots of the tree and focusing on that process. And, you know, it's that way we're not building any stress. And one of the things we talked about constantly, it's one of our core values is, you know, that fortitude and don't flinch. And last night I was really proud of them because, you know, there were situations that we didn't flinch.
All right, so Seconder wins. They're getting to their first ever state playoff. But look at this region. Number 1's Roswell, number 2's Gainesville, number 3 Milton, and then Seconder. To me, that says a lot for your program. Well,
I appreciate that because I think it does too because that's pretty good company there.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, it's funny because, you know, here we played those 3 back to back to back. So I think right now they're ranked number 3, number 4, and number 5 in the state of Georgia. So, you know, that's one of those, you know, just, wow. And, you know, the adversity we faced this year, you know, we were on our 4th quarterback. A freshman, you know, has led us since the Roswell game. And it's one of those things you enter the season and, yeah, I ain't going to lie, I didn't have a plan for, you know, losing 3 quarterbacks to injury. So, but the plan was a competitor stepped up as a freshman and played bigger than the way he looks in a uniform. And you know, I'm just so proud of him, and the kids play hard for him. And you know, it's just really a special night for our kids and our staff and our community. I was just really proud of them.
All right, so where you go next time around? In 2 weeks you get time to prepare, but you head down to Middle Georgia?
Yeah, well, I go to Woodward Academy, so down around my old stomping grounds. I'm familiar with them and how well they're put together and how well they play. It's, you know, a very storied program that, you know, has been around a while and had a lot of success. And so, you know, we'll take it on the road down there and you know, it'll be a new experience for our guys too, but everything's a teachable moment, and that's what we talk about, especially as we're building and continuing trying to move forward.
All right, man, congratulations. That's I wanted to talk to you. That's a big win, and Mulberry's not that far away from here, and that's got to be really a big win, though, for you also. And hope everything goes good. We'll talk in a couple weeks, okay?
All right, appreciate you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, friend. That is Tony Lottie, head coach of the Seconder Jaguars, the number 4 team out of Region 7 Quinte. They play in the same region with Gainesville. And we got much more for you coming up next live in our studios. So B Coach Sean Pender, the head coach of the undefeated North Hall Trojans. He's up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM and on our YouTube channel at Team Glory Sports.
Hey folks, this is Jeff Dale. Wanted to welcome you to Friday Night Football in North Georgia. The game is on tonight. I wanted you to know I'm in the game with an HVAC business called Optimum Mechanical. We specialize in residential and commercial HVAC. Service, replacement, new construction. Let us help you on your next project. Optimum Mechanical, 678-780-7251.
Ever feel like your house is just missing a little something? Custom window treatments can go a long way to making your house feel like a home. Call Millie's Drapery and Decorating today for the best in custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. We can schedule for one of our designers to come out to your home, take measurements, and give you an estimate right there on site. That's Millie's Drapery and Decorating, 1732 Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, or give us a call at 770-532-3819.
Here I am on the road again, ready to pick up the kids from school, go by the grocery store, and do all the things a busy mother does. It's because I just left North Hall Tire and Wheel, where they made sure I was ready to go. They put on a fresh set of tires, checked the brakes, and even the battery. I know I can trust Mike and Matt and the guys at North Hall Tire and Wheel. They have everything you need, all the name brand tires at the best prices, and the service you need. They're on Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, so give them a call at 770-297-5308.
And we're back with the Saturday Morning Sports Show here on 97.5 Glory FM. Mike Wofford with you until 10 o'clock this morning. And he is live in the studio with us right now. And you'll see him on our YouTube channel, Coach Sean Pender, the head coach of the North Hall Trojans, joining us here this morning. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I am great, sir. About you?
I'm doing really good this morning.
You got me tired. I gave him a text message a little while ago. I said, this is your morning wake-up call because I know it was a late night last night.
Yeah, it was. It was late, but, you know, my daughter Morgan, she has a swim meet this morning, and I had to get her over to Francis Meadows to get her ready for her swim meet.
So what, 10?
Say it again.
They started, 10 this morning?
Yes, they start around 10 o'clock, and then she's in like 4 different events, and she'll be there all day. So I'm looking forward to a great day of her kicking some butt today.
All right, so you can stay at 10 o'clock then, right?
Yeah, I can stay till 10. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Let's talk about football here. First off, game last night started out with you getting the coin toss. You get the ball, as you always do. And that third down play, we thought, okay, we remember the last time we saw Lumpkin County, the 3 down first time, and then all of a sudden, big play, and it set things up for a quick touchdown, and that set the tone for the entire ball game.
It did, and that was a great pass from Alex Schliman to Cole Cable, and it was one of those explosive moments that them two have hooked up and done many a times.
So North Hall ends up just scoring every time you touch the football. Except the one time we had the fumble that went through the end zone for a touchback. Other than that, it was just so efficient last night with everything the team did, it seemed.
Oh, I know, and Jack's kicking himself in the butt for that. And he made a great move off the line, and Alex threw a really good ball, and Jack caught. He was running down the sidelines, and it was a great play also. By Dawson County's cornerback, he came up from behind Jack and stripped the ball out, and the ball went through the end zone, and he was upset about that, but we were able to bounce back and make some good plays after that, so we're okay.
Well, we mentioned how effective the running game was last night. You had that one drive there, it went like 8+ minutes there, going into the second quarter, and Harper O'Bell thought, I said, sure, you're going to probably surprise somebody with a pass, but you just kept run, and it showed what you can do with this football team.
Oh, for sure, and that's all credit to our offensive line. Our offensive line did a phenomenal job last night in both the run and the passing game. But on that drive there, we wanted to showcase what they can do, and they sure did a good job. And also, Dawson gave us a lighter box, so it dictated, all right, they're going to try to take the pass away, so let's run.
Mm-hmm. That was a question because you go from one extreme to the other with Dawson County. Did they just give everything they had against Lumpkin County, and I wouldn't have to have much left last night, but then you just were able, on the line of scrimmage, just beat them up, it seemed like, push them back into the backfield against their quarterback, Sorensen there, and then on the defensive side, able to stop their running attack and force them to do other things last night.
Well, I don't know how Dawson County feels, about what happened with them with Lumpkin County. Can't control that, but we do know by watching film and what our guys can do. We looked and thought that our defensive line can definitely shut down the run of what they did, and we had a really good game plan. Coach Montier, Coach Baxter, they came up with a really good game plan to stop the run, and then our defensive guys executed. They flew around and did a really good job, the D-line linebackers.
There were times you really, I guess, had more numbers than they did because you got so many sacks and also so many TFLs in the game last night.
Don't know if it was a numbers game as much. I think that our guys fly around.
That's the point.
Yeah. They fly around and they get to where they're supposed to be, and the way they hustled, the way they were doing things. I'm just proud of the way.
Robbie Lee making those sacks. Parker kept going through blitzes there and surprising, it seemed like.
Oh, for sure, and and then Hunter Robinson, who usually does a great job for us, he ended up spraining his calf early in the game. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. So he had to come out, and when Hunter came out, and Hunter's a big tape play guy for us as well. But when he came out, Gorbera came in, and he did a great job, and he stepped up, and that's one thing about this team. I think this team has good depth in it, and when one person goes down, it just seems like another person steps up. Michael Donatelli is another name that you don't hear very much. That he flew around, and
yes,
he was making plays. Buddy, Clark and Dalton Holsey. We always talk about them and the plays that they make. Parker Carlton, but like Michael, he stepped up in, and he did a great job last night as well.
He's Coach Sean Pender, the head coach of the North Hall Trojans, undefeated football team. You take a step back now and you look at all the accomplishments of this team, and everybody's got to realize 27 seniors on this team, and we know what the goals are for this team this year, and to see what they've been able to accomplish after those first 2 losses last year against Wesleyan and then Cherokee Bluff, 8-0 during the regular season. After that point, going into the state playoffs, and now 10 straight, a record-setting 18 straight regular season wins. That's something they can always remember and talk about for years to come. And then 3rd undefeated season. Last time was back in 07. But you can go to YouTube and you can see me and Ron Poole called the last game of the regular season back in 04 when we went undefeated that first time around. And so 04, 07, and now here in 2025, it's a special thing, Coach.
Oh, it is. It's for sure. It's definitely something you don't take for granted. This is like only the second time in my career that I went undefeated in the regular season. I had several 9-1s and 8-2s, but this is the second time in my career of an undefeated. So it's definitely a special feeling.
Well, it just shows you how rare the occurrence can be for what you got to do to go undefeated.
Oh, absolutely, and and keeping your focus one game at a time, and you concentrate every game and prepare and play every game like it's a championship, and that's how we approach this year. And
so when you have practice and you got the next man up mentality, because again last night you had some injuries, you lose Cole Cable last night. You know what was going on with him right now? What his status is?
We're not sure. It's it looks like it's a low ankle sprain, and a low ankle sprain. Yeah, it's not as severe as the high ankle sprain.
Right.
But we're not sure if we're going to have him back. With the type of receiver that he is and the dynamic stuff that he does, he's going to have a lot of strength on that ankle.
Right. And that's just the one example, because you had other players who have been out for whatever reason, with whatever kind of injury, and guys have been stepping up, especially been on the line and also at the special places on the team.
Oh, for sure. Ty Kemp was one of the state's leading receivers at the time that he went down, and Jack McCloskey, he stepped in that place, and I can't talk enough about Smith McGarvey and what he's done.
Second half last after Cole went down.
Yeah, and how McGarvey steps up, and we always knew that he's a gamer, and he always makes plays here and there. But overshadowed a little bit by Ty, and then it was overshadowed a little bit about with Cole and how they do. And then when both of them went down, Smith McGarvey shows up and has 2 touchdowns, 8 catches, 80 receptions. So again, he stepped up and played hard. And then you have on the offensive line, when we lost the whole left side, Mason McGill went down, and when James Hendricks went down, people like Wade Porter stepped in, and we had to move our center over to guard, and True Love went to center, and he did a really good job. So again,
what's about practice, because you're out of position. And there's a difference in how you approach a center and a guard and a tackle on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, for sure. And it affects the play calling a little bit, because you want to call things that are to their strengths. But these guys, they play hard for one another. And what's special is these guys don't want to let each other down. They get after it. They play hard. And when it's their turn, they want to step up and be successful. We talk about that championship mentality and having that championship mindset. Well, that's what it is. It's when you got the opportunity to be successful, you prep, you prepare, and if you're prepared when your number is called, you're going to make the most of that opportunity. If you can grab that opportunity while it's in front of you, well, then good things happen, and we've been able to do that so far.
It's nice when you have somebody who can play multiple positions, and Joe Gailey calls Smith McGarvey his Swiss Army knife, because you can put him, seems like, in any position on the field, and he'll be successful.
Absolutely. He can line up at quarterback. He can line up at running back, receiver. He can line out wide. He can line up in the slot. There's a lot of things that he can do, and and he's a dynamic player when the ball's in his hand.
I tell people all the times is on how you can keep it with the numbers that you have, because you've got 4 or 5 running backs who can do anything at any time. Then also you got Dawson Gray involved at the tight end spot, and this is another weapon that you've got.
Oh yeah, Dawson Gray. He had a pretty big night last night. Stepping up and making plays. You don't hear his name called a lot because he's a lot involved in the blocking game, but when he does get the ball in his hands, he makes things happen. He gets critical first downs for us. He keeps drives alive. He's a physical runner. So yeah, he's another one that steps up and does well.
I thought last night one big play, you were able to score the 28 points in the first half of play, but I thought one of the momentum changes, that last play of the first half, when they thought it was going to be a touchdown and it ended up being an incomplete pass, they could have changed things when we get the football start in the second half.
It could have. I knew it was incomplete, though. It looked a lot closer because just the fact of all the red and the orange and the ball being right next to it where it fell down. But our cornerback, I believe it was Lindley that was right there.
It was.
He was right there, and he got his hand in that middle, and he knocked that ball out. That receiver, never had a chance to get that ball. It just looked like it.
Well, that's why I was looking at the point. You go back to the Lumpkin County game. how you were able to shut down the receivers there at Lumpkin, and then the same thing last night. So you shut down the passing, the running game, shut down the passing game, and there was few options there left for Dawson County last night.
Oh yeah, I don't know what our defensive final numbers were, but I do know once again they had to be really low in the rushing. I don't.
Jody told me with the sacks and the TFLs, I think it was like 21 yards maybe for the entire night rushing the football.
That's pretty impressive against a Dawson County team that's been improving and getting better. And I'm very impressed with those numbers. That's the first I heard those numbers, so I'm like, wow, that's pretty dang good.
Well, Joey's listening, so I'm sure you can send the coach a text and with all the stats. But I think that's what he told me from last night. We talked right before midnight last night. So yeah, it was again. You count those sacks that they had last night, and you kept seeing through the pressure. That was one thing too. There's the pressure your defense put on the offense at Dawson County last night.
They did. It was a pretty good. A lot of that pressure was just from 4-man pressures with our defensive line really getting after them. Like we already talked about Guevara and Robbie Lee, how they were doing it. Hunter was doing it earlier in the game, and then. But yeah, every so often we'll send the backer off the edge and. Yeah, how about Parker Carlton when he comes off that edge? He gets there so fast, and when he gets there, it's violent.
Oh, talk about hard hitting.
Oh, yes.
And I mentioned more one time. I say you cannot tell he was hurt earlier this season. He is back at full strength and as quick as can be.
Oh, yeah, he is, and I'm excited about that. We want to keep him healthy because he's going to be a big part of what we're going to do in the playoffs on both sides of the football. And that mentality that he has, he just represents our team extremely well. That tough physicalness, how he gets after it, the unselfishness. That's why I always call Parker Carlton the heartbeat of our team because he has that it factor. And I can't believe that he don't have more offers than where he's at right now.
He'll probably love those soon.
Oh, he needs to. I mean, this kid is the definition of football player. He really is, and no matter where you put him on the field, he's going to make things happen, and he does it for us, and he'll do it at any level that he plays at.
It's hard to even describe what he's better at. Better at running back, better at a defensive, guy. So he can do it all. It seems like.
Oh, he is the definition of a football player.
Yeah.
Wherever you put him, you're going to get his best effort. He's going to go at you with a relentless mindset. And if he's running the football, he's going to go after you and he's going to run as hard as he possibly can. If his job is to tackle you, he's going to tackle you as hard as he can. And if he is blocking, he's going to block his tail off. So it doesn't matter what he does. He's going to do it. One of the best that you've ever seen.
Sean Pender, the head coach of North Hall, joining us this morning live here in the studios at 97.5 Glory FM. You get a chance to see this again anytime on our YouTube channel at Team Glory Sports. And now we look at, you take a week off, and then you get ready for the opening round of the state playoffs coming up in 2 weeks. We'll find out tomorrow officially at 4 o'clock. We've been told behind the scenes here, Jody Kane's been working and crunching all the numbers. We think we know where North Hall is going to finish. Jefferson probably number 1 in the state. North Hall right behind them at number 2. We've seen both of you play this year. And in our minds, no doubt the best 2 teams, at least in North Georgia when it comes to Class AAA football. And you've seen teams in South Georgia too. You're right at the top of probably the teams in the entire state right now, Coach.
Well, we're going to take it one game at a time, just like we did the entire year, and this is why we do it. It's we approach every game like, hey, this is the only game we play. So now that we are in this opportunity where you win, you can advance. If you lose, you're done. We had this mindset all year, so when we go into the first round of the playoffs, nothing changes for us.
Well, here it is now. You have 5 weeks left to win a state championship. Title will be decided on December 17th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but you start things off on November 14th at home, and the way it works out, if you are the number 2 seed, you'll play at home throughout the entire semifinals before going to the Dome. That's a huge thing for me playing at the Brickyard every week of the state playoffs, but it's 5 one-week seasons, so now the next season is coming November 14th, and you just prepare for that.
Oh yeah, just like what we talked about. Our team was talking about earlier. We going into Dawson, we're like, listen, even though we already clinched the region championship, and we're going to get at least 2 games at home, win or lose. We want to win this game so we can get at least that number 2 seed. So we will have this opportunity. So we've done everything we needed to do to get the opportunity we have, and now we got to continue to push forward to make sure we take advantage of this opportunity.
All right, with that, you talk about the opportunity. Is that is a team getting better each week in your mind, even with the injuries that you're having right now? The mindset's got to keep getting better, don't you?
You have to. If you're not getting better, then you're not going to be able to advance. So that's our mindset is trying to improve. And if we concentrate on us and who we are and try to improve. Like we talk at the end of practice every day, I was like, what's one thing that you can do just a little bit better today than, or tomorrow than what you did today? And, just focus on getting that little bit better. And we've been doing that all year. So, that's something we got to continue with that mindset, and we continue with that mindset.
One thing you're getting better at, I notice, is fewer penalties, and let's see, just get that down to almost 0 would be really good.
That would be good. And the best thing, we're going to play an aggressive mindset. We're going to play in attack mode. That's just the way we're built. And when you do that, you're going to fly around every so often. You're going to get just an over anxious. You're going to get a little over aggressive, and a penalty is going to happen here and there. It just depends on how the penalty's played out. You don't want to do anything stupid.
But you can't hurt yourself with a penalty.
Exactly. You can't hurt you, and we're not trying to hurt ourselves.
Oh, sure.
But we are definitely going to, not take our foot off the gas.
All right. So do you care who you play in the first round?
I'm just glad we're here, and of course I want to have the matchups be favorable, but it is what it is, and we can't control that, so there's no use worrying about it.
That's the thing about we can all look at it. Jody can look at it, and I can look at it, and going down the line between now and December 17th. Here's who you might play. Here's who you might play this, but again, it's only any given Friday. You never know.
No, you don't. You don't. You know what's going to happen. And as you've been doing these sports broadcasts or radio shows, how many times do you see surprises pop up every Friday night? There's some sort of surprise. So we got to make sure that we're where we need to be and focus on the things that we can control.
And it's good to see too. Just it shows you how the region championship is important because of this region and the teams that made the state playoffs. Dawson County thought they had a chance with the PSR. Looks like they may be out of the top 32. GAC getting the number 2 spot. That takes out the equation in the state playoffs. But then you've got Pickens and Lumpkin County. Lumpkin County ends up as the number 3 seed in the playoffs. That just tells you how this region is.
Oh, yeah. So when people were looking at Pickens as one of the favorites to win the region with us, and they're a very good football team. They're not a bad football team, but they had to play against Lumpkin, who fell to Dawson the week before, and their backs were against the wall. And you've been covering the Lumpkin games, and sure. Coach Webb and his staff. You knew that they were going to be prepared to play, and and they needed to bounce back, and they needed to win, and they were able to go in and get one. So hats off to them.
By the way, you were in the lobby waiting to come in, and I was talking to Tony Lottie at Seconder. He said, Coach Pender's in the studio. Hey, tell him I said, hey, congratulations. It's like, even that is something that you see people at other schools, they want to see you succeed.
Well, yeah, the coaching network, we're a tight network, and the coaches here, they're really good guys in the state of Georgia, and the camaraderie that we built. Yeah, we all compete against each other, and we're all trying to beat each other on Friday night. But for the most part, all of us, we do root for each other when we're not playing, against each other, and that's just an example of, hey, if you got a man that's going in and dedicating himself to work real hard with the boys, that they're doing and trying to. Be a really good example. Those are the type of guys you cheer for.
Talking to John Thompson at Friar Branch a few months ago also, and they're playing Ware County, for example, and you've been down in South Georgia a long time before coming here. What's the difference between North Georgia football and South Georgia football?
I still think it just depends on where you're at. I mean, kids are kids, and they're going to play hard. I do know that Flowery Branch is going to have the work cut out for them when they go down. They got to go down to the swamp, and
they're playing here.
Oh, they're playing. Oh, that's good for Flowery Branch there, because that's a good deal. But now they are playing a very, very good football team, and they're well coached, and that's a team with a lot of pride, and they're going to get after it. Hopefully, it's really cold. If it's really cold, Flowery, that might work out a little bit in Flowery Branch.
So how big a deal is it? That's what going back to playing at home again, Coach, is about the road trips these teams are having to make in these first rounds. You're going, all the way across the state in some places.
Oh, for sure. And that's a thing that sometimes schools in South Georgia getting a little bit of a disadvantage, especially the bigger schools when they have to travel. Like you look at, Camden County, for example, or Valdosta or Lowndes. I mean, they're the only region down there in that big region that's in South Georgia. Everything else is up in North Georgia. Now, when we're in South Georgia, if you're north of Macon, you're in North Georgia. That's the way we feel about it here.
That line, then, right?
Oh yes. So, but and it's funny because being up here in Gainesville, they'd say Atlanta's down south.
Yes, it is.
and so that's kind of
it's another world.
It is. But yeah, so it's just there is a difference when it comes to, I guess, the terrain settings, that kind of stuff, but and travel, because South Georgia there's a lot more travel. But those kids down there are gritty, they're tough, they get after it. And what I've learned since I've been up here, it's the same thing. I think it's the culture of what you make of it, in the environment that you're in. And I'll take our kids right here at North Hall, what we do, and I'll put them up against the Pierce County teams that I've had in the past. I've been very good. I'll put them up against any of the teams that we played down there that were the same level.
Before you go, look at the teams in Hall County there make the state playoffs. You're the region champions. Gainesville's number 2 team out of their region. Flyer Brandt's number 2 in their region. Cherokee Bluff, that win last night, they go as the number 4 team out of their region. And it's like, okay, anybody can win anything. It seems like now with those teams here in Hall County.
Yeah, you just mentioned some very good programs and very good coaches, and I'm excited about all of our Hall County teams. I hope we can all continue to be successful, and hats off to all of our teams. I hope they win every game they play, except when they have to play us.
So how's it important to get everybody healthy now?
Oh, it's extremely important. I mean, I do think that we're going to get 2 of our offensive linemen back. Hopefully we'll get Hunter Robinson back, and
Good.
Mason McGill and James Hendricks. We get all those guys back. We'll be in good shape. Hopefully we can get Cole Cable back, and I'll keep my fingers crossed about Ty, because Ty is another really, really dynamic player. He was having a great year before his injury, but he'll go back to the doctor, I think, Tuesday, and we'll get another evaluation and see where he's at.
Hey, you mentioned Ty. Tell me about the progress of Noah.
Oh yeah, he's another one. We'll talk a little bit about Noah, but I have a feeling over the next several years we're going to be talking about Noah a whole bunch, and he's going to have his turn in the limelight. But
it shows you how guys can step up.
Oh, for sure. Noah's been playing a lot of corner for us, and he's doing a really good job there. And he's another Swiss Army knife. I mean, at quarterback, he can be as good as anybody, and then he can also line up in the slot. He can line up at running back. He can line up at safety. He can line up at corner. He's just another one of those guys that's a do-it-all dude.
Hey, one of the defensive guys we mentioned was Walker Davis.
No, of course, yeah, Walker Davis, and that's another one. I mean, Walker Davis, he shows up every week. He makes a lot of the calls and the checks on the back end, and he's another real smart guy. He flies around and he gets the job done. He's incredible athlete.
And whether you had 1 third down play last night. So okay, will he do this? You had the big lead. Could you go ahead and try something? Maybe put Walker Vining in there and try something. But Walker didn't have to from that standpoint. But that's also one of those intangibles that you have in the lineup.
Oh, yes. Walker Vining, the thing about him, even though he does the punting and the kicking duties for us, he's a phenomenal receiver. And that's another person that's going to showcase as the future goes. And he's only a sophomore right now. And I'm not sure, but with the amount of points that we have scored and the extra points that he has kicked, and a field goal here and there, I wonder where he sits in the state when it comes on points.
That's a good question. Get with Jody about that also. But also, congratulations, Alex Schleman. What a job he has done. Number 1 passer in the entire state in all classifications.
Oh, absolutely. He's done a great job. And you talk about a mindset of getting back after he broke his leg in the GAC game last year. That kid has had an attitude of, I want to get back. I'm going to come back better than ever. And he put on good muscle weight, and he hit a growth spurt, and then his work ethic that he does is not comparable to anybody. And we have a team that has a ton of kids that put a lot of work in. But that kid, he's one of those kids that outworks everybody because he does it in all phases. He outworks you when it comes to meeting and being a student of the game, and then he'll go on the field and do all his fundamentals and work really hard. And he takes every snap and every play and every rep that he does seriously, and he's always preparing.
All right, sir. Thanks for joining us. We'll be with you the rest of the way. You know that. So go enjoy some swimming. We'll talk to you next time, okay?
All right. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, this is 97.5 Glory FM, WGTJ.
97.5 Glory FM is WGTJ.